Today we're finally putting some wide body rear over fenders on the back of my 350Z drift car, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do it.
I'm literally cutting the whole quarter panel off. Now there are a lot of different ways to wide body or install over fenders on a car, but in my opinion, there's two correct ways to do it. I'm going to label these the street car way and the race car way. Today we're going to be doing it the race car way. If you're unfamiliar with my Z, it's not much of a street car. The back of this thing's totally cut out. We've got a rear firewall, and we're going to be cutting these quarter panels completely off. But before we start cutting anything, let me show you what's going to be replacing these beat up old stock quarter panels. Got to give a massive shout out to Hyper Hive. These are their V1 rear over fenders for the 350Z. The V1 over fenders are 15 millimeters wider than stock and obviously made out of fiberglass, so they're going to be a lot lighter, a bit more flexible, and they're going to look brand new because the back of this thing has seen some serious abuse and it's beyond time that we fix it. As you can see, we've got a pretty big buckle in the quarter panel from being rear-ended, some tire marks that kind of caved it in there, more dents on the back, and a giant hole from when we cut the back of this car open. So, how do you go about installing over fenders? Step one, grab your new panel. We're gonna do a test fit on this thing. For that, I'm gonna get the car up in the air. I'm gonna get the wheel pulled off. I'll probably take the side skirt off too, just because it's kind of in the way. That way we can mock up the new over fenders. Just for reference, what I'm about to show you guys and kind of the steps I'm gonna take could be applied whether you're doing over fenders or fender flares or like a full wide body kit. Pretty much anything, the principles are still the same. So hopefully you learn a thing or two. All right, so we've got our panel all clean, which meant removing the wrap. Taillights out of the way, rear bumpers out of the way. Now we can mock up the new over fender and we'll have a good place to start. Now, these over fenders have no provisions in regards to like where you mount them. Depending on what car you have and what brand kit you're gonna run, there may be like dimples or recessed holes or areas where you're gonna be putting your rivets or preferred hardware. This doesn't have any of that, which is kind of nice because it gives us the freedom to do whatever we want, which on a cut-up race car is perfect. But when it comes to actually mocking it up, I think the most important place to start is going to be this door gap, because door aside, this isn't damaged and it's not going to move, right? This is a solid fixed body line. So if we line this up here, get a nice good gap all the way down, and from there we can adjust the back. And at the end of the day, this is fiberglass. It is going to take a bit of tweaking. If I was doing like a show car or something, you'd probably want to bodywork this. But I think for your average everyday street car, or in this case a race car that's probably going to get crashed a couple times, I'm not too worried if the fitment is perfect, as long as it looks good. And once it's wrapped, you really won't be able to tell. But I got to hand it to the HyperHive guys. This thing fits really good right out of the box. I know I said I was going to jack this thing up and take the wheels off, but I wanted to test fit it with the wheels on and the ride height correct first, just to make sure everything was in the right spot. Once we actually get to cutting the quarter panel off, that's when I'll pull the wheels out of the way. Now, like I was saying, this over fender has no provisions or marks or indents or anything for where the hardware goes. So that means we have free reign to put it wherever we want. Now, mocking it up along that door line gives us a good reference point. So I'm actually gonna start in that corner, which would be right here. So I'm gonna drill a hole in the over fender, and then I'm just gonna use a self-tapper or body screw just to locate it. That's not how we're gonna mount it. We're gonna use that to locate it so we can get this thing mocked up before we cut anything, because the last thing we wanna do is kind of guess where stuff goes and ends up cutting too much. That would be pretty hard to do with like a full panel replacement, but either way, it's good practice. There's officially a hole in my car, which means there's no turning back now. So all I did was use a couple pieces of painter's tape to get the panel where I wanted it. I made sure that one corner was aligned perfect, and then I just drilled a hole right in, and now it's kind of soft mounted with one screw, and we can work our way down the panel, installing a few more screws and kind of taking it from there. Right off the bat, I'm pretty impressed with how this is gonna fit. I threw the taillight in there just to make sure this body line was good. Now, yes, I am working with a cracked taillight, but I think that fits pretty dang good. You can see we've got a nice little lip here that actually overlaps the top. It makes it pretty simple to figure out where this wants to sit. There's our one screw in the corner up here, and this body line looks pretty good too. So now we can work our way down the panel, putting a couple more screws until we really get the fitment perfect, and then we can move on to the next step. Although we're using temporary hardware, these are the permanent holes where it's going to get mounted. So I'm using a piece of tape across to act as a straight edge, and then I measured out equal distance because I'm just going to do 3 pieces of hardware. 1, 2, 3. So I measured this out just so that it looks the same. I mean, ideally you're not going to see the hardware, but just going that little extra step. That's not necessary, but if you're a little OCD like I am, having equal spacing on your hardware is something that I know I'll appreciate. All right, so we've got our 3 screws across the top. I did the same tape method going down. We've got our 3 screws there. For the back, I just tossed the bumper back on. Now, again, my whole car is cut open, and this back bumper is usually only held on with 1 zip tie in each corner on the top and then 1 down here on the bottom. But if we hold this up, kind of where it would be zip tied, you can see it fits pretty good. So I'd call that a successful step 1. We've got our panel fitted. Now again, if this was a street car or show car or something I wanted to spend a little bit more time on, this is where I would fine tune the fitment. Like, I'll give you an example. I'm really happy with the way everything fits, but the door gap is not perfect. You can see it's good there, and then at the very bottom, it kind of like the arc changes and it gets a little closer to the door. See it with the door open better. So the gap is consistent, and then it just starts to flare out a little bit there. Now that could be because this quarter panel has a bunch of dents in it and maybe it's moved some stuff around. Honestly, that's probably the reason. But this is where you would fix issues like that. So I could sand the over fender down, the fiberglass, and get that body line to match all the way down. Or I could have pulled the dent out of the original quarter panel. It probably would have fit better that way. But again, this is a race car. It's going to get dented up. It's going to get scratched. These fiberglass panels will probably get cracked down the road. Hopefully not anytime soon. And I probably still will sand that just so it looks a little bit better. But this is the part where you'd want to do that if you really wanted this to come out perfect. Like I said, it was a show car or something along those lines. But I'm happy with how this looks. We've got our holes in the over fender. We've got our holes in the car. So now we can pull this panel off and have a good reference point of where we're actually going to cut. And this is where things get interesting because, like I said, there's 2 ways to do it. So let's get this off of here and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. The panel off here, you can see the holes we drilled. So what I'm going to do is measure about 1 inch underneath the hole and then draw a line all the way across. That will give me a good perimeter and know that I need to cut inside that line. All right, so we've got our reference line drawn around the perimeter of the panel. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. Now again, this is just a line of the absolute max I can or should cut. I don't want to cut anything above that line because then it's not going to give me enough metal for the new panel to bite onto if I'm using rivets or screws or riv nuts or whatever. And I also want a little bit of wiggle room in case like somebody puts their wheel into my quarter panel and it bends that. I want to be able to get some pliers back there to be able to bend it straight. Because again, this is a race car. But now this is where your technique of cutting the car up is going to differ. Because again, like I said, there's 2 correct ways of doing this. There's the street car way and the race car way. And the reason they're very different is because on a race car, you want to cut off as much weight as you can. You want the least amount of metal in this thing so that fiberglass has some give to it in case you do get into a crash or someone puts their wheel into your quarter panel. The more flex the body panels have, the better on a race car. And you're not super worried about everything being airtight and watertight because it's not going to be driving on the road. Whereas a street car, you want to really make sure that you're sealing everything up. You don't need to cut the whole quarter panel off. You just want some extra room for some bigger wheels, and you want to do everything you can to seal it up against water, air, tire smoke, exhaust fumes, whatever. Let me give you kind of a visual representation of how the 2 are going to differ. Okay, this line is obviously free-handed, so don't judge how crude it is, but all I would do if this is a street car is I'm just going to cut out this chunk right here, only of the outer layer. That way we have clearance for bigger wheels. This is out of the way, but I'm not cutting this whole thing out because I'm going to want to seal this back up. You know what? I'll just cut this off and show you what it looks like. That way there's no confusion. And then after that, I'll cut the whole quarter panel off so we can do this the race car way. Again, this is what I would do if this was a street car. All right, with the cut made, grab a screwdriver, separate the 2 panels. And this is what you're left with. So I just peeled this one back. Obviously you would cut it off. But what you're gonna do is hammer up the wheel well from underneath the car to close this gap here. And then you're gonna weld the inner skin to the outer skin and then just cut off the excess. You can also cut the wheel well and like make your own. Like you can see on this side, I cut too wide. So this is like kind of a big gap here. So that would be really hard to hammer the wheel well up into. So either make that cut a lot smaller and try to follow the radius. So it's more like this, where like that would be easily hammered up from underneath. And then you just tack weld it together, cut off all the excess. I would do some seam sealer or some kind of weatherproofing on the outside, primer it, and then you're done. Put your over fender on, call it a day. But this is a race car, and we're gonna cut a whole lot more than that. Hopefully that was a good enough example. I know I didn't go into a ton of detail because obviously I'm not doing it that way. So if you have questions about that, drop them in the comments. I've done this a handful of times on different cars. This is actually gonna be my first time cutting one completely off, and I'm looking forward to it, so let's get to cutting. And now we've got a skinned 350Z quarter panel. Look what I just found in my quarter panel. All right, now to cut just a little bit more. That looks better. With the outer part of the wheel well out of the way, we're still all sealed up underneath there, but just nothing on the outside now. Now these are the only spots I really have to seal up in the cabin, so I'll be doing a little bit of welding there. But overall, I am really happy with how that turned out. If you're curious about this weird little section here, it's because this is an additional layer. And it's like boxed into this hole underneath side, and it's all welded together right around here. So I wanted to follow that seam and keep that little bit of structural integrity in case we ever get hit here. It should take a little bit more of a beating than if I cut that whole thing out. Now all that's left to do is weld up those little holes that would let tire smoke and stuff into the cabin, clean up all the edges, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna save you the boredom from watching me weld up 100 little holes. Let's test fit this panel and see what it looks like with absolutely everything gone, because it should look like a brand new car, and at a glance you would never know I just cut a bunch of sheet metal out of this thing. And just like that, no one would ever know. Unless of course you poked your head under there, then you might know. This was an area I wanted to highlight because I cut the bottom of this out. I cut like an extra inch or two. The reason for that is because I've been hit here 4 or 5 times just by a wheel, you know, tandem drifting, somebody's front wheel is kind of poking right in here. With that cut out, now I've got a little bit of flex in the fiberglass. My hope is that will lessen the impact, so 1, it won't mess me up if I'm driving in the lead, but 2, it won't mess the car up other than just some cosmetic stuff, which I don't even think this will crack because it's got a lot of flex to it, but pretty happy with how that turned out. Figured it was worth mentioning also on the back here. You can see how much I cut out. So we've got a good amount of fiberglass that hangs over without getting into contact with any sheet metal. And that's for the same reason if I get into the wall. Granted, this would be pretty deep in the wall, but now this has quite a bit of flex to it. My taillights, as you can see, don't have a mount back here. So they also have a good amount of flex to them. Doing my best to copy some of the pro builds. Like I've taken a lot of inspiration from Chris Forsberg and a couple 370Zs he's built over the years. There's a few other Zs in FD, both pro and pro spec, that I've taken a lot of inspiration from. I have a lot of saved pictures from different cars without panels. So I wasn't just flying in here blind. I definitely had some inspiration, but if you've ever done anything like this on your car, even with all the research done, it's still a little nerve-wracking to make that first cut. But like I said, I'm super happy with how this turned out. You guys will have to subscribe so you can actually see the new livery coming on this thing, because we've got to pay a visit down to Defined Wraps, because now this thing's a few different colors and I'm still not done working. Thank you again to HyperHive for making this possible. Super happy to have them on board. I'm sure this isn't going to be the only set of over fenders I'm going to need, and I think we'll end up ordering some of their fronts so I can get rid of the kind of goofy ones that I have. All their stuff will be linked down below. They make stuff for 350Zs, 370Zs, G35s, 37s, Subaru WRXs, and a whole bunch of other stuff, and they're just some super cool dudes, so show them some love. Now the last step here would be hard mounting this, and it's up to you how you want to mount it. Technically you could just leave the body screws in there. I wouldn't suggest that. I think self-tappers look pretty trashy, even on a race car. The most common thing to do is rivets. You can just rivet this in place, or you can do riv nuts and install hardware. That way it is bolt on and bolt off. I'm still debating which direction I want to go. I kind of like the idea of being able to unbolt it and have it be serviceable, so I can like clean everything out under there or make more adjustments. but I also like how easy rivets are. So I'll figure that out later. Like I said, I've got some welding to do under here to really finalize it. But overall, that's pretty much the two main ways how you're going to go about wide bodying or installing over fenders on your car. It's really not too complicated. As long as you have a cutoff wheel and a welder, you should be good. But let me know what you guys think. Did I miss any steps, or did I go way too overboard on this thing? Drop a comment down below, let me know. For now, that's going to be a wrap on this one. Thank you guys as always for watching, and of course, catch you in the next one.